Hey guys, so in this video I will try to explain Beryl's kit and what I think about her, because I do know that there are some negative views regarding Beryl. And in this video, after I explain her kit to you, I will give my opinion on her kit, her gameplay, and what to expect in the future. So to understand her kit, first we have to understand Halo. So it decreases healing effect by 25%, and at the end of turn receive Genesis damage equal to the attack of the damage source times 4, and it can be stacked up to 30 stacks. And Halo works as a negative status, and after it is triggered, as in the Genesis damage is deducted by half. So this is very similar to Burn, but it is a separate stack from Burn. So if you have a character that inflict Burn and you have a character that inflict Halo, then the enemy will have two negative status. But the main purpose of Halo is to generate lingering glow, or another word for it, or what people call it, is afterglow. I do not know what is the exact name in English for it. By the time it hits GL, then we will know, but there are some translation calling it afterglow, and then there are some calling it lingering glow. But whatever it is used to charge the vessel of Radiance by generating lingering glow. And what is Vessel of Radiance? Okay, if you have been watching the clips related to Beryl's gameplay, there is this icon or something at the right hand side of the screen. If you play Blood Tide, then you will know it's at the same location. But this one is the Vessel of Radiance instead of Blood Tide. They do not overlap, so you cannot have both existing at the same time. But which one take preference is the unit that is at the front. So let's say if you have like Semmelweis and you have Isolde, which both, Semmelweis have Blood Tie, Isolde is Vessel of Radiance. If you put Semmelweis in front, then it will be Blood Tie that's activated. If you put Isolde in front, then it will be the Vessel of Radiance that will be activated. So how do we get lingering glow? Basically, every burn or halo that you inflict on the enemy, you multiply that by 5, and then you divided that number with the total number of enemy on the field. For example, if you inflict 10 burn on one enemy, but since there's 2 enemy on the field, you still have to divide by 2. So 10 times 5 divided by 2, you will get up to 25 lingering glow. Another example, if you inflict 10 per enemy, okay, so you have 2 enemies, so that's 20 burn, and then that times 500 divided by 2, then you get 50. The higher the lingering glow at the start of the round, it will grant every 10 lingering glow will give 0.5% crit rate. So if you have 100, you get 5% crit rate. But do note that every round, lingering glow quantity will get cut by half, and then you have to build it again. Okay, so it's not like accumulating and that it is permanent. Now, so again, what is the purpose to generate so much lingering glow? So for Beryl, her source of damage, the main source of damage is from a follow-up attack known as Destined Doom. So how do we trigger Destined Doom? Is by getting lingering glow. So if we get 150 lingering glow, then it will trigger Destined Doom. So Destined Doom deals 500 mental damage to all enemies, and for the enemy with the highest halo, it will deal additional 500, so a total of 1000% mental damage. And for every vision, I will talk about vision later, but for every vision, this attack incantation might is increased by 1% up to a maximum stack of 20%. And this attack counts as a follow-up attack. However, Beryl has a bunch of crystal. Based on the type of crystal that you selected, it will then alter the damage that Destined Doom does. So we mentioned vision. So what is vision? Okay, just now I mentioned that lingering glow need 150. If you have vision, then that minus 50 in order to trigger Destined Doom. So instead of 150, now you only need 100 lingering glow. And every time you trigger Destined Doom, vision stack will deplete by 1. So if Beryl is doing a lot of follow-up attack, you need to continuously cast her skill to get more vision. So now, without considering the effect of the crystals, generally her gameplay is like this. First, you gotta buff her with vision. Once you hit 15 to 20 stack, you don't have to keep buffing her anymore with vision. I can assure you, if you're using the blue crystal, the follow-up attack one, you probably won't be able to accumulate a lot of vision. Only the other few crystals will allow you to get more vision because it doesn't trigger the Destined Doom as much as the blue crystal. And then you want to inflict as many Hallow and Burn as possible because you want to get a lot of Lingering Glow to trigger Destined Doom. So basically this is it, right? Maintain vision, inflict as many Hallow or Burn, then trigger Destined Doom, and repeat. But the question now is, how do we get vision and how we can inflict more Hallow? And that obviously will depend on her skill and ultimate. So first of all, skill 1 is a single target attack, 200, 300, and 500% mental damage. If the target has fewer than 20 stack of Hallow, then it will inflict 4. Or if it's against a single target enemy where there's no other enemies on the field, then you also inflict 4 stack of Hallow. If there is other enemies, then instead you will inflict Hallow on other enemy equal to 50% of Hallow stack on that target. So let's just say so happen that that specific target has a maximum of 30 stack of Hallow. So when you use S1, instead of that unit, another enemy will get 15 stack of Hallow, which is actually really good. As for vision buff, you use her S2. Her S2 will give her 3, 5, or 8 vision based on rank. Okay, so again, since it is stack, you have to be careful on how many stack you want to accumulate. And if you're using blue crystal, again, you might quickly deplete all the vision stacks. And her ultimate is 600% mental damage to all enemies, and before the attack, redistribute the number of Hallow on enemies based on their current HP. This does not surpass the maximum stack of Hallow. So when Beryl redistribute, it is considered as like reapply. So if you redistribute 30 Hallow, then it's considered that you apply 30 Hallow. So usually after you use the ultimate, she would have enough Lingering Glow to trigger Destined Doom. So it's kind of like a typical rotation, right? You get to the ultimate, you use ultimate, then you trigger the big attack. But Beryl's kit, you can actually trigger more Destined Doom. So how do you do that? We have to rely on the crystals. There are 3 types of crystals: blue, purple, and green. And we get to choose up to 2 crystal if you are at P0. At P2, it will be 3 crystal. At P5, you can choose up to 4 crystals. But whatever it is, you are able to choose only 2 crystal of the same type if you are below P5. At P5, you can choose up to 3. Apart from affecting the damage dealt by Destined Doom, the crystal also changed how her Frost Field works. I will explain to you right up regarding Mirror from Above. And the third, it also affects her precast, which is Colorful Emanation. So to explain this, first we have to look at her insight. So I0, right? Without any insight. When entering battle, choose emanation combination. When entering battle, receive Vessel of Radiance, and for every certain stack of Lingering Glow, receive Destined Doom. So nothing specific there. I1, when entering battle, receive Mirror from above. So this is where you get the Frost Field. And at the start of the second round, Beryl receive Colorful Emanation, and that is the start of when you get her precast. From there onward, every round you will get one of her precasts. So the more a corresponding emanation is acquired, the higher the chance Beryl will get a high rank colorful emanation. And talking about colorful emanation, first of all, as mentioned, you can choose two different crystals. So if you choose two blue, it is for sure that you will get the blue version of colorful emanation. If you have one blue and one purple, then the chance is 50-50 that you will get either the blue one or the purple one. So, getting the colors is also RNG. How about the rank? Okay, it's also RNG. There's a probability here. If you have two crystals, then the chance to get rank 1 is actually 20%, then 50% to get rank 2, and 30% to get rank 3. And at P2, if you have 3 crystals, then it's only 10% chance to get rank 1, while now rank 3 increased to 40%. And if you have 4 crystal, which is at, her at P5, then it's 50-50 getting either rank 2 or rank 3. You will no longer see rank 1 incantation. For I3, when entering battle, increase self-moxie, okay, just 1. And the lingering glow from Vessel of Radiance increases at the end of the turn when lingering glow reaches 60 and above. Then Beryl get another Moxie, so she technically can get 1 Moxie every single round passively. So for the probability to get the colorful emanation, as I mentioned, if you have one of each crystal, it will be 50-50. So here I just compute it out. If you have 2 same crystal, like you choose 2 blue, it will always be blue. 2 different crystal will be 50-50. If you have 2 of the same and 1 different, this is when if your Portray is at P2, because you get to choose 3 crystals. So your chance becomes 66 or 33%. And if you are using all 3 types of crystal, then the chance is 33% each. Okay? At P5, you can choose up to 4. So if you choose 2 blue, 2 purple, then it will be 50-50. If you choose like 3 blue, 1 purple, then it will be 75-25%. And now knowing about that, let us look into the effect of choosing the crystals. So first, let us start with blue crystal. And remember, the crystal affect 3 things: Destined Doom, how it behave, the force field, and colorful emanation. All the same. Green crystals also affect these 3 things, purple crystal also affect these 3 things, and the crystal stacks. So first of all, blue crystal, Destined Doom has 33% chance to trigger another Destined Doom. But the other Destined Doom has a different multiplier. So is Destined Doom emanation of blue. It is a mass attack, 100% mental damage, and it will deal extra 100% to the enemy with the highest halo. So it's typically lower in damage compared to the original Destined Doom. But if you have more emanation of blue, then it will deal extra 120% mental damage and another 120% mental damage to the enemy with the highest halo. So if you have 2 emanation of blue, that will be 240 plus the original, that will be 340 AoE damage, and additional 340 to the enemy with the highest halo. The original Destined Doom is 500. Alright, so this one definitely slightly lower in damage. And the same thing for every vision, this attack has incantation might, 1% per stack up to 20 stacks. So on screen I type with 2 blue, the damage is 300 plus 300, it's actually 340 plus 340. Alright, okay. So
If you use 2 blue, this will also increase the chance to trigger the second Destined Doom by another 33%. So overall, you are getting 66% of chance to trigger Destined Doom. For her force field, now all follow-up attack will inflict 1 stack of Halo. Okay, so the more follow-up attack you do, the more Halo that it will inflict. And third, colorful emanation. Add the following effect. The counter for Beryl to trigger Destined Doom increased by 30, 45, 75. Okay, what does this mean? First of all, I mentioned to you that Destined Doom is triggered that we obtain. So if we obtain 100 Lingering Glow, it will trigger Destined Doom. Now, if you use this colorful emanation, it will directly increase the counter by 30. If it's rank 1, let's just assume it's usually rank 2, so you get 45. So let's say if you have counter is 70, you instantly get 45, and that will trigger Destined Doom. However, this will not directly increase Lingering Glow, so it's kind of like a fake one. Okay, it's just increasing the counter, but not directly Lingering Glow. As for the purple crystal, now Destined Doom will also inflict Halo, and for every Lingering Glow, it will deal extra 0.4% mental damage with a further 0.4% mental damage to the enemy with the highest Halo. So assuming that if you have 300 Lingering Glow, then you will get about 120% more mental damage and another 120% more on the enemy with the highest Halo, so that's 240. And it never really mentioned for every purple emanation, but I do think that if you have 2 purple emanation, then the damage will times 2, so it'd be 240 plus 240. Alright, and for the Halo that it inflict will also increase to 4 instead of 2, because now you have 2 emanation of purple. Mirror from above, it will add the following effect. Active action or attacks will inflict 2 stacks of Halo on the target. So with 2 crystal, it will inflict 4. And this is any active incantation, allies as well. And lastly, for the colorful emanation, it will give Beryl vision upon use. So this means that it's easier for her to gain vision now. So it's kind of make her more AP friendly than the blue crystal version, because you don't have to actively use S2 all the time to get vision, because now you have another way to obtain vision for free. And just my opinion, that if you can already use Beryl S2 to get vision, I don't really like this colorful emanation. I felt like if you get the blue one or the green one, then overall it will be better, right? So I felt this is kind of like a damage loss, because the blue one will trigger Destined Doom more frequently, and that would lead to higher damage output. Which in the video that I've posted earlier, this seems to be the case, because the blue crystal definitely deals more damage than the purple crystals. For the green crystal, now Destined Doom is considered rank attack, and the rank will increase by 1. So if you have 2 crystal, that should make it rank 2. So this one I'm still not exactly sure. Definitely I have to compare it with a P5 Beryl, because P5 Beryl can have 3 of the same crystal. So I assume only P5 you can get up to rank 3 Destined Doom. Otherwise it will be a rank 2 Destined Doom. And it's kind of similar to the purple one with 300 Lingering Glow. You get 120 plus 120. But the green one is easier to trigger in the sense that you don't need the Lingering Glow. As long as you trigger Destined Doom, then at rank 2 is already dealing additional 120 and 120% mental damage. 2 crystal becomes 240. For the force field mirror from above, it adds the following effect. If an attack is rank 2 or 3, then it will inflict either 1 or 2 stack of Halo.
So with 2 green crystal, it becomes 2 or 4 stack of halo. For the colorful emanation, it adds the following effect. Increase the rank of 1, 2, or 3 subsequent incantation in the AP area by 1. So if you get a rank 2 colorful emanation, make sure the incantation that you put behind the colorful emanation is the one that you want to rank up. So you can put 2 up to 2 if it's rank 2, up to 3 if it's rank 3, and all of it will go up by 1 rank.
So this could be pretty useful for characters that has added effect on their incantation if you use a higher rank incantations.
Now for her team comp, well, this is my opinion at the moment. Isolde currently is also a Lingering Glow character, and she can restore half the stack of Lingering Glow that is lost during that specific round, and you could easily hit up to 300 Lingering Glow. And at 300 Lingering Glow, and when Isolde uses Intermezzo, it would then grant a new buff, a damage boost buff, and it can go up all the way to 108% damage boost, which is insane. And hence, this makes Isolde currently the best in slot for her. And for the third slot, well, Destined Doom is a follow-up attack. So Flutter Page is a no-brainer and probably the best in slot for Beryl as well at this point. Even if you are using the green crystals or the purple crystals, right? Destined Doom is still a follow-up attack, and her entire damage is mainly from Destined Doom. And in the previous video, I already showed that if I change Flutter Page to Mercuria, and it wasn't as effective. So again, now you have Isolde, and Flutter Page is the best in slot. So these only leave us one last slot, and that is the sustain. So which sustain should we use? So I would suggest if you are using the blue crystal, then definitely Fatutu, because Fatutu also increase extra action damage, and Fatutu does a lot of follow-up as well, and that will inflict more halo. If you are using green, then you go for Villa, since Villa also make Beryl's ultimate into a rank 3, and it has rank up mechanics, so you can get one incantation up to rank 2, and then you can use Beryl's precast, the colorful emanation, to further rank it up to rank 3. And Villa's Song of Passion also work on Beryl and her follow-up attack as well, because her follow-up attack under the green crystal is considered a rank incantation. Yeah, so this is the example of how the team looks like for the blue team composition. Beryl, Isolde, Flutter Page, and Fatutu. And for the green team, here we have Beryl, Isolde, Flutter Page, and Villa. And for her force field, the 1000-fold fate, 390 attack stats, that's really good. And then crit rate, 10%. And when it is fully upgraded, it is 16%. So for the condition, when attacking, if a status is intelligence, which Beryl is, and Lingering Glow reaches 120, increase crit damage by 4% at A0 up to 6 stacks, which means 24%, and at A5 is 48%. And another condition, when doing an extra action, if self has force field, incantation might of this attack increases by 6, and A5 is 12%.
Now for the Portray, P1 it decreases Destined Doom from 150 to 125. So if you have Vision, this goes down by another 50. So you effectively need only 75 Lingering Glow to trigger Destined Doom, which is not bad. P2 is really good because now you increase the crystal to 3, so you are more likely to get rank 2 or rank 3 colorful emanation. But now you have 2 crystal of the same color and one more that is different. So let's say you use 2 blue, 1 purple, or 2 green, 1 purple, then your chances to get colorful emanation is not 100% anymore to get the color that you want, because now you at least have 2 different kind of crystals, so it will be either like blue or purple. But if you have 2 blue, then you will get 66% of getting a blue colorful emanation and 33% for the purple colorful emanation. P3 increases the moxie that she get at the start. Yeah, so it's just maybe like 1 round faster that you can get to her ultimate and you start her rotation. But I think it's not like necessary. I think P2 will be better. And overall is increasing Destined Doom's damage. For P4, Blaze Through the Lens, that is her S1, will inflict more halo, and Vision S2 will also give more vision. And lastly, P5, the number of emanation that can be picked increased to 4. So you can have like 3 blue crystal and 1 purple. And halo can also stack up to 40 stacks. So P5 is actually pretty insane. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 200% increase in overall damage that she does. That is based on the calculation from the CN side. I did not do that calculation. So yeah, a lot of people is actually complaining about this because it felt like it is Mercuria all over again, where you got to get her very high portray in order for her to function very well. But if that's the case, then also like Mercuria, she can technically function at P0. And like I say, this is just the start. We just have 2 Lingering Glow character, and we're gonna have more. And when we get more, I think P0 will also do some crazy amount of damage. So yeah, P5 will be like totally overkill. You probably just kill the enemy in 1 turn. So yes, it's there, but I don't think you should cry over it. P0 is fine, or at most, since this is a limited character, like you can throw 200 pools, which a lot of people does that, and try to get the additional portray. So which means you are very likely to get like P2 Beryl. Yeah, so to me it's all good. So for my overall thought, like I say, this is just the beginning, okay? Similar to Blood Tie, Dynamo, we will get more support and sustain coming. So let us look into some of these characters. Spatodia, Jay, Lopera, Noir, Liang Yue are all characters that can inflict burn. I may have missed out some. Do help to comment in the comment section if I have missed out anyone. 6 stars, right? Here I'm mentioning just 6 stars. But again, I don't expect Blue Pork to just give us Euphoria and complete Beryl's team. Definitely, there will be a few more new characters that can inflict halo. So it may not necessarily be burn, but it will be about halo. And this also means that Spatodia being a DPS and Beryl to me is a DPS will end up have to form her own team. I just hope she doesn't end up being Eternity E2. Okay? I hope that she will be maybe like Calabauna and being still a strong unit. For the sustain for this team, because that's something that we don't have yet, then it's either Lopera or Jay. And since it is possible to form like 2 DPS team for burn or halo, so having 2 sustain is no problem at all. Just hope that they don't release another sustain and then making Lopera or Jay pointless. But what I think is that it will not be the sustain first. Instead, it will be the sub DPS, something like Sentinel, right? To replace Flutter Page from Beryl's team. And to replace Flutter Page means that that character will have to give tremendous damage boost to Beryl. At least as good as Isol's as well. So when more of this character comes out, we will find that her reliance on Portray will also be diluted as long as you have the full complete vessel of Radiance, or if you want to call it Lingering Glow team.
Yep, so that's all for my current view on Beryl. I do think she's a very strong character, and having this new archetype, you can compete with Blood type once every character for this team is released.